So the crypto meme coin season happened earlier this year in 2025. Some of us like to leave it in the past. Some of us are still meme coin fans. Wherever you kind of land on that spectrum, I think it's safe to say that it was a pretty wild ride. However, it actually seems that two meme coin giants are on a collision course even all these months later. Doge, D-O-G-E, and BONK, B-O-N-K. So it kind of fits into this Battle of the Big Cap series that we've been doing. Check out some of our recent videos if you haven't already. But let's kind of get serious, even though we're in meme coin territory here. This actually isn't just another coin comparison. We're breaking down also kind of the wild rides that both of these projects have had. Their meteoric rise and their pretty wild communities as well. More importantly, though, and I think this is probably something as far as a takeaway that we can apply to other sectors and categories of cryptocurrency, what is the secret sauce that they're using, that they're applying to be able to come out so effectively as a winner? Let's take a look now at this heads-up comparison between Dogecoin and BONK. Welcome to the channel, guys. My name is Maddie, and this is Altcoin Buzz. All the best of luck if you choose to invest. Meme coins, serious altcoins, whatever the project may be, if you're in cryptocurrency, I genuinely wish you well. Just remember, I'm not a financial or investment advisor, and that means this video is not official financial or investment advice. All right, let's kick off here with the case for Dogecoin. The pro arguments for Doge, D-O-G-E. With this project, of course, we have a first mover advantage, a massive one, in fact, on our hands. It's a meme coin legend. It's the godfather of all meme coins, effectively, with massive brand recognition. It's probably, if you've been in this space, it's probably that coin that people ask you about if they're first, perhaps intrigued by cryptocurrency. Maybe they want to put some dry powder into a meme coin. They've heard about Doge. It's certainly one in that context that a lot of people have asked me questions about. And obviously, a big part of that is just the fact that it's been around for as long as it has. Since December 2013. So it's been here for over a decade. And that means, to its credit, that it's been around for multiple bull and bear markets. It's been on a full ride a few times over now. In the world of cryptocurrency, that is an eternity. And so Dogecoin as a project represents one of the most grizzled veterans that we can name. There just are not that many crypto projects that have been around that long, let alone a meme coin, by the way. Within 30 days of launching the website, it had already attracted 1 million visitors, which also gives you an idea of how successful it was early on. And I think, as most of us know, Dogecoin did start out as kind of a joke. Maybe you could describe it as pulling Bitcoin's leg a bit, and other coins from that era. It did not take itself seriously as a project. But that soon actually got kind of out of hand with a corresponding and very overwhelming success story. Today, Doge ranks all the way up at number 8 in terms of crypto tokens measured by market cap. Dogecoin, of course, also has a massive community, and this is really one of the big factors on which the project thrives. The community is very supportive too, collectively supportive. They support each other, but it's also good at raising funds for charitable causes. And they also like to make fun sometimes of themselves, but other projects as well. Like I said, the tone is that they don't take themselves too seriously. But that's not to say that they're not capable of serious endeavors. Here's one, for example. They sponsored a NASCAR driver. And depending on where you get your definition, here's something that you may not know. Many would argue that Doge, D-O-G-E, is actually an acronym for Do Only Good Every Day. Having said all that, Dogecoin also has a darker, dare I say, illicit side to it. Some authorities found Doge addresses that were connecting with funding terrorism. Also kind of the usual scams, theft, Ponzi schemes, sometimes are connected to Doge or at least some of its many holders. I would argue it's not a guilt by association type of thing, but it's had its problems sort of within the community. It's just a footnote here that I think I should mention. But then on the other hand, NASDAQ-listed BitOrigin is raising $500 million to add Doge to its treasury. So there's this contrast, there's this polarity between very silly, very unserious, very sketchy, but then pretty legit at the same time. So NASDAQ listed BitOrigin, they want to raise $400 million with stocks and $100 million with convertible debts. And just yesterday, July 21st, they actually bought their first 40 million Doge, worth about $10 million at current prices. That's a total supply of 150 billion Doge. However, there is an unlimited supply. Keep that in mind. So that's never ideal as far as tokenomics go. But with that being said, Doge, as you can see here, is up over 77% in the last month. It's now at 26 cents and change. That's still a good way away from its all-time high, which for context was 76 cents. So a little bit less than 3 times from where we are right now. We're at a $39.7 billion market cap. And look, whether I like meme coins or not, the fact is, again, to be objective and to be unemotional about it, I can see Doge crashing through the $1 barrier later this year because whether you like it or not, there is this appetite, there is this demand, and Dogecoin being the king of meme coins represents a gateway drug for a lot of people, for those friends, for those acquaintances, for those older relatives that are calling you and asking you if Doge is a good idea. It's always going to have that kind of reputation. So I think a 4X is possible. As you have seen these last few days and these last few weeks, we've been talking about slowly unveiling a new project that we're very proud of here at Altcoin Buzz. Check out the link in the description below. We're inviting all of our viewers to try it, to check it out. Once again, you can find the link and participate in the description below. Now we look at the case for BONK, B-O-N-K. And I want to start by reminding you of December 2022 when Solana and the SOL token crashed to about $8. A year before that, it was still at $250, and that's when BONK really, in a big way, came to the rescue. The launch of BONK saved Solana. Full stop. I don't even know how to say the price, but it had 6 zeros in it. It was super, super small, but that was really something that catalyzed the reinvention, the resurrection of Solana into a meme coin giant, a meme coin factory. And then ever since November 2023, BONK has been on a consistent rise. In its first week, it managed to surge over 4,400%. 4,400% in 7 days. Other memes out there, the ones that we were familiar with at the time, Doge, Shiba Inu, they didn't come anywhere near those numbers. So the price was something that was impressive right out of the gate, but we'll come back to the price a little bit later. In the meantime, I can say that BONK did really, really well. It built up a large and very supportive community as well. Part of this is probably the way that BONK, again, B-O-N-K, launched. 50% went out as an airdrop to Solana NFT holders, but also developers, artists, and early adopters. None of these people were left out. Also, there were no venture capitalists in the mix to spoil that party. That is pretty much the blueprint and the best way you can set up an organic grassroots following that is very loyal. And then, of course, it also became a utility token and has deep integration in the Solana ecosystem, not the least of which is represented by its recent launch of Let's Bonk. That is its meme coin launchpad. Let's Bonk passed Pump.Fun like there's no tomorrow. It passed it, left it in its dust, and it leads really across pretty much any metric you can think of, actually. Things like token launches, also daily volume, and probably most importantly, at least arguably, community momentum. That's why BONK is riding highs, doing so well in terms of the price as it is right now. If we look, we're at $0.00003521. That is up nearly 200% in the last month, in the last 30 days. With a market cap that's a lot leaner, still pretty huge, but a lot smaller certainly than that of Dogecoin. BONK is at $2.729 billion. So really less than a tenth of the size of Dogecoin. Check this out, though. If we zoom out even further and get a little bit hypothetical here, if you managed to get in during the very, very early days, you're up over 38,000%. Keep that in perspective. That's excellent. Doge, however, by contrast, is up 308,000% in the last 10 years. So Doge does actually take the cake in terms of that long-term accrual of value. Also, BONK has a fixed number of tokens and also a deflationary / burn program that it has in place. I always like that. I always want to highlight that. I think it's one of the best tokenomics features when done right that a project can have designed into it. Its market cap, like I said, is just about $2.7 billion, so a lot lower. And BONK also has a DAO, a DAO, that governs the project. So these are all positive developments, positive features, and certainly characteristics that I would say are working in BONK's favor. This Altcoin Buzz Spotlight video is sponsored by CoinEx, which is one of the best exchanges that perhaps you haven't heard of. Just like Gate.io or MEXC, they offer a lot of coins, but more importantly, they offer the high quality coins that you actually want. We're talking over 1,020 coins in over 1,500 different markets that are available. So that's a lot of access right there. And going on now for a limited time only until the end of the month, CoinEx is celebrating 10 years since it listed Ethereum on the exchange. Just go to the Ethereum token page, you can see here, leave a comment, and the 20 best, most interesting comments will each earn 500 CET. That is CoinEx's native token. Details are available here. Take advantage of this. It is a fun community promotion happening on CoinEx. You can start by setting up your account on CoinEx and earn some freebies just for doing so. Check out the link in our description below. All right, so we've discussed Dogecoin. We've discussed BONK. I want to offer here as a bit of a bonus entry a real meme coin in the true sense of the word. It is called Useless Coin. USELESS is the ticker. This is a meme that launched in mid-May of this year, so pretty recently. And when I say a true meme coin, it is point blank and brutally honest, just immediately right out of the gate. And in a sense, kind of ironically, this has been what's won over the meme coin community. By its own admission, it has no utility, no roadmap, and a total lack of any technological ambitions. The critique that meme coins are useless turned up to really 11 here on the scale. Its community is cult-like. It's fun. It's good vibes. Again, not taking themselves too seriously, obviously. So that's it. That's what it's about. Despite their clearly stated lack of any and all ambition, Useless has seen an amazing price development in the last month here, up just under 250% in the last 30 days. It launched at just under 2 cents in May. Now, as you can see, it's at 29.1 cents. It went to an all-time high of 38 cents just a few days ago. It is actually a Let's Bonk graduate with a, right now, $294 million market cap. So I'm not recommending this one, but just highlighting, I guess you could call it a success story in the meme coin community, and kind of a funny anecdote, kind of a funny just manifestation of what's possible in the space. I will allow you to draw your own conclusions. I'm not touching this one with a 10-foot pole, but there you go, Useless. All right, let's talk now about the verdict. Let's talk about the winner of this matchup here. We looked at Dogecoin, we looked at BONK, and we'll kind of revisit Dogecoin again first because it has its own POW, proof of work chain. That means you can mine it. It's open source. You can use it for payments if you want. But as I pointed out before, it's also inflationary. So that's not good. But then back to one of the positives, it's been around for a long time, just about longer than any other project since all the way back in 2013. It's got a massive market cap that can be argued as a good thing or a bad thing, depending on your investor profile. But either way, I think everybody would agree that its size does place some limits on its growth potential. The fact is that Doge is less potentially explosive. Even Elon Musk, who's an all-time fan, he doesn't really tend to talk about Dogecoin anymore. With BONK, it's on Solana, first of all, a fast and low-cost platform with just a massive ecosystem. And BONK saw one of the biggest airdrops ever. This instantly created a very loyal community following. You can use BONK for payments, also for NFTs, in DeFi, and for governance. Its recent launch of Let's Bonk Launchpad caused a massive price surge. It is more agile and I would say creative compared to Dogecoin in a full-on just irrational bull market scenario where meme coins also get some of the love. I actually do think this is a project that could do anywhere between a 5 and a 10x. I did mention Useless Coin as a bit of a bonus there, as a bit of a gag, to be honest. It is certainly a dark horse in this matchup. If that takes off, it has more upward price potential. But like I said, I'm not touching it personally. As of right now, BONK seems to be the winner here. That's where I would put my meme coin money if I were to put money into meme coins. Maybe I will, maybe I won't. But between these options, That's where I'd put it. Let me know if you agree. Let me know if you have another meme coin that you prefer over Dogecoin, over Bonk, over useless, perhaps. If that's the case, you have something else that ought to be talked about, we can discuss it perhaps in a future video. Let me know which one it is in the comments below. Also, join our social media discussions happening on X and Discord. You can join that discussion. Join us there. Find the links in the description below.